When I do work on my CNC, and especially when I have a lot of tool changes, I want the machine to move over here, probe the set, and go back continuing the work. As one of the first things I do is also to use find my corners, the X and the Y axis, and this I only have to do one time because the center will always be in the center of the tool in the spindle. So before we can do that, there is quite a lot of changes we need to do, especially in the setup of the troller, and this is also related to the way it's calling the subroutine probe.nc, and it will read the parameters we are now changing, so everything will be correct. So let's go to the controller and do that as the first. First things first, what I did when I start up the DDCS and I will reset, I get this where to perform the home operation, and that one I will answer yes to, like that. And the reason for that is that the tool sensor operates out of the MAC coordinate, or the G53 if you want that. As you can see, we are on G54, but right now you see all my 3-axis is 5 millimeter on the Y and -5 on the Z. So now it knows exactly where 0.0.0 is. So to go into the menu, we have quite some settings to change, and one of these changes comes up, especially, you see here, that's a manual control mode, it's not there. Manual speed. There is one place here, let me find, here, you see here. I have it controlled of course by G code, but here I have a protection speed, maximum speed for 2000, and 800 on the Z axis, and 800 for the dropping operating and lifting speed, so they are both on 800. The G0 speed I set to 1500. And why do I set it to 1500? Well, it is because my Y-axis can maximum run on 15 to 1600 millimeters per minute, while my X-axis can run 6000 millimeters. So the 6000 millimeters, as an example, will work when I manually choose to go in either X direction. So this is important because I think they were on 999,000, and when you then end the probe on the set and it continues, it will try to move as with this speed. That's far too much, at least for my DIY CNC. So the next is I have my safe height there. We need to go to tool setup, which is here, and I run in mode 2. Here I have the thickness of the tool sensor, but the thickness of my fixed sensor is, and you can see it here, if I want to probe the X and the Y axis, I need to go down to the number 2013, which should be down here. You see right now this tells me the probe which is on the fixed position. If I want to probe the X and the Y, I change this one time to 0 and push the pager button and it's stored. Then I do the probe of the X and the Y and the set will then be correct. Otherwise, it will believe you are in my case, 35.4 millimeters above the item, and it will go down into your wasteboard and probably damage your tool. So this is important. So when this is done, the X and the Y, and we go back and change this, in my case, to 35.4. This here, initial probe position, you need to change this to fixed position. And the fixed position I have is 590.7 millimeters on the x-axis, 181.5 on the y-axis, and I use -20 on the z-axis. This coordinates is taken from the Mac coordinate systems. So that is why I did set it to home position, and let's run to home, go to the sensors, and now I can, when I want to probe with the shift and 2 times the A- probe switch, it will go to this position in the Mac coordinate system and probe the set. When I then push continue, it will go back on continue the work. So let me show you that just after we have done this. The back distance of the probe here is a quarter diameter. If I would use a 6 millimeter, I would have to put the 6 millimeter in. It is only valid first time you do with the X and the Y. That's why it's important to have it there. And because later on when you change tools, you don't have to change this one. It will always be in the center. This is my tool plate thickness on the X and the Y. Right now my set is on 35.4 here. That is the tool plate thickness. That's a movement. This is, if I remember right, the probe feed rate. Here it's not for this project. The probe.nc, which is a subroutine for this, it is set to 100. I in fact did change it in the subroutine to 150. So this is the settings you need to change, and we are now back to first screen. And what I can do now is I can go out from my x-axis and I can find my 0 for my project. Let's say we have done that right now, and I go down here and I enter, let me see, I do everything on 0, shift 0, 0. You see my Mac coordinate system is still the same. There's nothing changed there because I need to choose G53 or Mac. Matter of fact, to get to this I will show you. And this is a different coordinate system. Here you see Mac, and now it's identical with this over there. So if I zero that out now, I will have to do a new home positioning, because otherwise the coordinate system will be wrong. So let me go back to my 54, and so here we go. So right now I have zeroed that out, and I can now go over and just choose here the shift and 2 times the probe, and it would go over and probe in my Mac coordinate system. Or I could do this and this and this and use my tool for the X and the Y settings, zeroing out. So let's try to do that, and I will show you that on the machine. So remember, shift, modify, and set plus is the X and the Y axis, and shift 2 times probe will go over and probe at the fixed position. And yeah, that's it. So let's, yeah, oh no, there's one thing more. And you see now, I will, you see it says get tool now, because I have saved the tool change with T, in this case it would be T1, T1 and the M6 command, and that stops the whole process. Now I can do my thing, and after I have changed the tool, and then I just push the button here and it continues. So let's just do what we just had been looking at in the controller. So I have this board here, and I have no tool. I have my tools here, and that is it. For the Protect one, it is 3.175 end mill, and then I have a 20 degree wee bit. So the first thing I need to do here is to use my end mill. Here we go, and I will load it. So, and the second thing is I want to make a home, because I'm not sure if I did that in the past, but let me take it home, and that we do now. So it goes to these switches and here, and it will stop, and then it will slowly move away until it's free from, you saw here, just make a move. When it's free from the stop, the end stop, it will then move out on 5 millimeters on each axis. And that is done now. So now I know exactly that they are at the 0.0 X and Y. So with these, I now go over here, because now I need to go to I need to know this corner here on that place. So I go to my controller, and I go down here to 2003. Here we are, and I set that to 0. So enter and push this one, because now I am ready to use my probe for the X and the Y axis, and for that I need this connection here. So I will go a little bit down here, and yeah, I see one thing here we need to do, and that is to move this one here a little bit. So just so I get, that's better. I move this in position, so, and I check if I have a connection, and I have a connection. Otherwise it will just continue moving down and down. That we don't want. And now I push the shift A minus and the Z plus. Z plus. And now it goes down. Goes in here, back, out. Right, and I also have the right dimension on the cutter diameter in the settings. So now it's important, I will go in and I will change the parameter 2003 to 35.4, which is the height of my tool sensor on the fixed probe. So I go to that. And here we go. Enter 35 and point. Oh, that was wrong. 4. Enter and page. So we are good to go. So quite easy now. I will simply load my file which says probe test and start the whole thing. And now it says get the tool. We already did that. That was the first tool, and so I can matter of fact I not have to change it, but I still need to probe it, and that I do by pushing shift and 2 times the A minus. So it now moves up to minus 20, and that's 20 millimeters from my 0 point here, and now it works from the Mac parameters and not the 0 that I have here. If I would use the 0 here, I would come out here. So now it goes over here, go down and probe. Takes a little bit, a long distance, but there we go, and it's done. So now I can push start, and that I will do. And it starts, so I need to start my spindle. That was the first process. The last one is with the V-bit, the 20 degrees V-bit. So I need to change my tool now. And on my display it says get tool. So let's go up here and so now my new tool is out of sync. We don't know how long it is. I don't care, because right now I just push shift and 2 times the probe button, and it moves over and make the probing. I could have had my tool here and my fence here. That would have been much closer, and yeah, that would have shortened the travel distance quite a lot. This distance is maybe valid if you have bigger items. Now we'll go down. We're still in the Mac grid now. Here we go. And now it says system check, syntax check here. I will now push the button and it will start. And of course I have no automatically spindle. The M5 and the M3 is matter of fact already implemented. And now it will go there and go down here and it will make a nice little circle. Yeah. And the job is done. But this amazing graphic here, or carving, if I had 100 of them, God forbid that, then I just now change the tool, a new item in here, and when it says get tool, I go on Pro and then back again. And that's the way it works. So I hope it explains a little bit and help you understand how you can make a fixed probing. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice evening. Happy carving. Bye bye.